Konnichiwa.
안녕하십니까?
Lehoma.
Mirabanero recha, salamadol nero.
Going to the MTC first, you think you're doing great. And after 8 weeks, I thought, oh, I know this language. Once I stepped off the plane in Japan, it's a different story. It was as if they spoke a completely different language than what I was taught.
I don't know that I was fluent until, almost the end of my mission. I remember the last few months of my mission, I would dream and think in Chinese a lot.
It was really difficult, for the language at least. Although the language is really similar to Tahitian, it was still really difficult for me. It took me about 6 months of really diligent study to finally master it.
I don't necessarily get culture shock that much, but when it definitely came to the language, it took me a very, very long time to actually feel comfortable with speaking it. But it was very hard. It was incredibly hard. The best way I've done to maintain my language is to find Koreans and just start talking to them. I'm part of the Korean club right now, the Korean chapter, and I see Koreans on the street just here on campus, and I talk with them a little bit, ask them where they're from, tell them I served in Korea, and they're like, whoa, you're so good at Korean. It's like, oh, stop lying, man.
Facebook, Skype, reading church material, the Malagasy law system, so I continued reading that.
Well, for me, the first thing I did was I got a job at a Japanese restaurant. I tried to get other jobs in the industry where I could actually use my language a whole lot more.
I had friends from my mission that I still spoke to that were Chinese and English-speaking missionaries that went over to Hong Kong. We'd speak Chinese to each other occasionally.
Now I'm more independent in learning. I'm learning Korean because of my wife. And a lot of the things I learned on my mission about language study I apply right now.
See, when I was in Japan, the only convert that I saw was myself. I didn't see any other baptisms. That was very common in Japan at that time. It was a very difficult mission. But through my conversion, I'd like to not take credit, but I'm honored that my daughters, sons, they're kind of expected to go, but daughters aren't expected to go. So I'm really honored that my daughters wanted to serve.
The language benefited me to know that I'm not afraid to learn something new. Like I said earlier, Korean was overwhelming to learn. But now, here in the now, I know that if I'm learning something new, it's achievable, it's possible to learn because I learned Korean.
7 or 8 years ago, we flew back. We went to sacrament meeting. The sacrament speaker was speaking from a ward that I used to be in. She said, Elder Parker probably doesn't know it, but he's one of the reasons that I decided to serve a mission. Because I didn't teach her the gospel, but unbeknownst to me, I had a small impact on her deciding to serve a mission and then remaining faithful in the gospel. Ultimately, that's one of the reasons I wanted to come teach at BYU Hawaii and hopefully have some sort of an impact so when they go back to their communities, they can go back and serve and be an influence for good in not just the community, not just the church, but also in business.